very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and a very warm welcome to Pointless, the quiz show where the lowest scorers are the biggest winners. Let's meet today's players. So, firstly, we welcome back Darren and Keith. You were on the show last time. Everyone gets 2 chances to reach the Pointless final. This is your second chance. Remind us what happened. Darren.
Well, we came across a question that is way before our time, and I had to end up guessing it and did quite well, and Keith knew a little bit, but did quite awful.
What do you do in your spare time, Darren?
I am a football referee.
And this is something you voluntarily went into?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, since 14.
Seriously? Had you always wanted to do that?
Yeah. It was something that I used to go out on the streets when I was about 10, blowing a whistle, pretending to know what I was doing.
Blimey. How about you, Keith?
Spare time?
Yeah. I'm sorry, you don't really have it. You're a law student, aren't you? So I can't imagine you have any spare time at all.
I'm reading books and whatnot.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. If law comes up this afternoon, I expect you'll be...
Richard, change your mind.
To be fair, it never really has it?
No, not really.
There's
a couple of refereeing questions, but nothing on the law.
Very good. Well, very best of luck to the pair of you. It's great having you back. And next, we welcome Leslie and Ben. How do you two know each other?
We're ex-work colleagues who used to work together in a hospital. We've known each other for 5 years and have been friends ever since.
Very good. Whose idea was it to come on Pointless?
It was mine.
Very good. Leslie, he dragged you along.
Yeah. He hasn't got many friends.
What categories are you hoping going to come up this afternoon, Ben?
Oh, a bit of entertainment, film, television, music.
And Leslie, you nodded along to all of those.
Yes. Kind of the same, really.
Yes.
Yeah, music.
What if a sport question comes up?
We're running.
You're running.
Yeah, we'd have to run away.
That's never happened before. Quite looking forward to that. Very best of luck to the pair of you. Great having you here. And next we welcome Steve and Karen. How do you two know each other?
Well, we're married, husband and wife. We've been together for... Well, we've been married about 4.5 years. And before that, we were boyfriend and girlfriend.
It's amazing. It's so weird. That happens nearly all the time, doesn't it? Blimey. And then before that, you probably didn't know each other.
Absolutely.
Ooh. Steve, what do you hope is going to come up this afternoon?
Entertainment, film, music, the usual mishmash.
The usual mishmash.
Karen, things that people know about.
Anything else you're going to bring to the party?
Food and drink. I'm quite happy to...
Food and... I thought you said fruit and veg there. Fruit and veg. I think, yes, fruit and veg. Yes. Yeah. What? That's not
really into...
Oh, very good. Oh, you're good on the slightly more obscure veg there. Yeah. Well, very best of luck to the pair of you. Great to have you here. And finally, we welcome back Stephanie and Pamela. You were on the show last time. Remind us how you did.
We did quite well. We got through to the head-to-head, and then we were stumped on a question that we should have known better about disco. And we should have gone through.
What categories would you like to come up, Stephanie?
Science and nature.
Science and nature?
Yes, would be nice.
Very good. It looks like, well, from what everyone else has said, you're going to clean up if they come.
Exactly.
And Pamela, how about you?
I'd like something on Australia. That would be nice. I lived there for 7 years, so that would be handy.
Every so often they do come up.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Oh, fingers crossed. Well, we'll find out more about all of you throughout the show. There's only one person left for me to introduce. He shuns popularity and he celebrates obscurity. He's my pointless friend. He's Richard.
Hiya. Hello there.
Hello there, sir. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you this afternoon?
I'm extremely well, thank you.
Excellent. We've got a good show coming up. Stephanie and Pamela were excellent last time, so I suspect they'll want to go one further and into the final. But we didn't really see much of Darren and Keith, did we? Darren was unbelievably fluky. Had a category he'd literally never heard of, literally hadn't heard of, and then scored a pointless answer immediately. But I was just looking at the questions before... I don't want to give anyone any bad news. Before the show, I was just having a little look. I looked at the first one. I thought, blimey, that's hard. And then I looked at the second one, I thought, that's even harder. I think 2 tough questions to start with.
Wow.
Interesting, both of them.
OK.
But tough.
But tough for everyone. Now, we put all our questions to 100 people before the show, but of course this is pointless, so we are after the obscure answers that they didn't get. Now, what everyone's trying to do, of course, is find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people gave, and each time that happens, we will add £250 to the jackpot. Nobody won the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that. So today's jackpot starts off at a dizzying £2,500. Very good. Let's play Pointless. Now, in the first round, each of you must give me one answer, and you cannot confer with your partner. Whichever team has the highest score at the end of the round will be eliminated. Be very careful. If anyone gives me an incorrect answer, then you will score the maximum of 100 points. OK, our first category this afternoon is the UK charts. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what this difficult question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many biggest-selling artists of 2010 as they could. Richard?
Yeah, we're looking for any artist or group who have had one of the top 40 best-selling albums of 2010. Compilation albums don't count, but greatest hits, that sort of thing, count. So any artist who's had one of the top 40 best-selling albums throughout the whole of 2010. There are 35 names on the list, because some of these acts have had more than one of those albums, but obviously only count once.
Thank you
very much. And this is according to the official charts company.
Thanks very much, Richard. Now, Darren and Keith.
I'm going to go for a definite. It's got to be a definite. Play a safe bet. In the hope that Darren might get an obscure one. I'll go for Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, pretty fair assumption. You're hoping to score as few points as possible with her. Let's see if Lady Gaga is correct, and if it is, let's see how many people said Lady Gaga. 20, that's not a bad score at all, Keith. Not a bad score at all. Lady Gaga, Richard.
Well played, Keith. Yeah, her album The Fame sold more than 1 million copies in 2010.
Very good, thank you. OK, now then, Leslie, we are looking for the biggest-selling artists of 2010.
It's someone that's probably quite popular, but I'm going with the safe option. Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. Is Justin Bieber correct? And if it is, let's see how many people said it. That's right. That's a very, very, very good answer, Leslie. Justin Bieber scores you just 2 points.
Yeah, well done, Leslie. 2 points. And if you've never heard of Justin Bieber at home, then I envy you. What a lovely state of affairs that would be.
Oh. Remember, we are looking for the biggest-selling artists of 2010. Steve, something tells me you might be quite good at this. Do you follow the charts at all?
Chart music isn't quite my thing.
Right.
Then I'm going to go with Kings of Leon.
OK, you are hoping to score as few points as possible with Kings of Leon. Let's see if that is a correct answer. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said the Kings of Leon. Well done. Down it comes. Oh, very, very well done. 2 points to you there, Steve. A credit to you, sir. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Steve. That's more like it. Kings of Leon are one of the artists actually with 2 albums in that list. They had Come Around Sundown, which was #1 in 2010, and their previous album, Only by the Night, was still sticking around and sold enough to be one of the top 40 selling albums. First released in 2008.
Now then, Stephanie. What are you thinking, Stephanie?
I've got 2 possibilities. And I'm going to have a bit of a punt and say elbow.
Elbow?
Yes.
OK, let's see if elbow is the correct answer. And if it is, let's see how many people said elbow. Bad luck, Stephanie. Elbow is an incorrect answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard, elbow.
Yeah, unlucky, Stephanie. Their big-selling album was The Seldom Seen Kid, and it was released in 2008, so it wasn't on the list for 2010, unfortunately.
OK, well, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores as they stand. On 2 points, Steve and Karen, Leslie and Ben, looking absolutely rock solid. A little bit ahead of them, Keith and Darren on 20. And then way out at the front of the pack, I'm afraid, Stephanie and Pamela on 100. Pamela, you know what you have to do in the next pass. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, remember, we are looking for the biggest-selling artists of 2010. Pamela.
OK.
Do you follow the charts?
I did do, but I've just
Did you in 2010?
No, not in the UK. I was in Australia at the time. So I'm kind of a bit toiling. We're on the highest score, so I really kind of have to take a punt.
Were there any crossover stars from the Australian charts?
There was,
maybe?
actually, and one of the bands that I'm thinking of, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to punt for Rumour.
Rumour. Well, let's put that to the test. No red line for you because you're the high scorers. Yeah. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. It's right. Very well done, Pamela.
Go on, go on, go on, go on.
Down it goes. Look at that! Very, very well done, Pamela. Rumour is a pointless answer. It adds 250 quid to today's jackpot, taking the total up to 2,750. And crucially, Pamela, it scores you nothing, leaving your total at 100.
Yeah.
Very well done indeed. Richard?
Yeah, well played, Pamela. That's a brilliant answer. Seasons of My Soul peaked at number 3 in November 2010, but one of the 40 best-selling albums.
Very good. Thanks very much, Richard. So, remember, we are looking for the biggest-selling artists of 2010. Karen, we come to you. The high scorers are Pamela and Stephanie on 100. You are on 2. If you can score 97 points or fewer, you are through to the next round.
I think I'm going to go with Plan B.
Plan B. I think that might be a bad answer. OK, well, there is your... I love the way I give my opinion on this, because I'm really down with, as you can tell. OK, there's your red line. If you can get below that red line, that's all you have to do. And Plan B, I hope, will take you there. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Plan B. Very well done, Karen. That's brilliant. Well done indeed, all the way down to 0. Plan B, another pointless answer. That adds £250 to the jackpot, taking the total now up to £3,000. And it scores you nothing, leaving your total at 2. Richard, Plan B.
Very well played, Karen. That's excellent. That's 2 pointless answers in a row. I don't think we've ever had 3. It's no pressure at all, Ben. Yeah, the Plan B album, The Defamation of Strickland Banks, is actually the 5th highest-selling album of 2010, but a pointless answer.
Very good indeed. Thank you, Richard. So then, Ben, yes, like Richard says, no pressure.
Well, I don't think I'm going to get a pointless answer.
Well, it sounds like you've got a good one, though. You've got a good one.
Well, I'm not really a chart music fan, but my niece and nephew are, and I think they'd kill me if I didn't get this one right.
OK.
I'm going to go with my niece's favourite band, JLS.
Right you are. OK, well, there is your red line. If JLS can take you down below that red line, you are through to the next round. Let's see if JLS is right. If it is, let's see how many people said it. It's right. You are through. 18. Still haven't managed to get our 3 pointlesses in a row, but that scores you 18, taking your total up to 20. Richard.
Well played, Ben. Safe and sound. They're another of the acts with 2 albums on the list. The debut album, JLS, and Outer This World.
Outer?
Outer This World.
O-U-T-A.
O-U-T-T-A. Out of. To give JLS their credit, in Out of This World, they spelt both the words this and world correctly. So...
Remember, we are looking for the biggest-selling artists of 2010. Now then, Darren. The high scorers remain Pamela and Stephanie on 100 points. If you can score 79 points or less, you're through to the next round. Now, Darren, I have a feeling you might be able to pluck a pointless here.
Gonna stick along the theme with reality and TV shows and say Susan Boyle.
There is your red line, Darren. Let's see if Susan Boyle, or Subo, to give her full name, can get you below there. It's right. Very well done, Darren. And you are through to the next round. Look at that. 4. Brilliant answer, Darren. Very well done. That takes your total up to 24. Richard.
Yeah, Susan Boyle. Well done, Darren. She reached #1 in the UK and the US with her album, which was called The Gift, but probably should have been called Did You Keep the Receipt?
What about some of those other answers?
Well, there's lots of low-scoring answers. There's Mumford & Sons, Biffy Clyro. Michael Bublé had the 2nd biggest-selling album of the year. He was very low-scoring. The XX was a low-scoring one, but there's lots of pointless ones too, so let's take a look. Oasis, they had a best of in that year. Glee cast, AC/DC, who did the soundtrack to Iron Man 2, they were pointless. Bon Jovi, there's Plan B, we've already heard. The Script, the Irish band, one of the biggest selling albums. Gorillaz, Paolo Nutini, the Scottish singer, and Rumour, which we heard from Pamela. All of those were pointless. Let's take a look at the worst answers. These are the ones that the most of our 100 people said, the most obvious answers. We've already heard number 3 from Keith. It was Lady Gaga. And another artist with 2 albums in the list is Rihanna, 24, and the best-selling album of 2010, Take That, with 38 points.
Thank you very much, Richard. So, at the end of round 1, the losing pair with the highest score, I'm sorry to say it's Pamela and Stephanie. And that with a pointless answer and all.
Yeah.
And a brilliant pointless answer.
Gutted.
I mean, from the antipodes, from the other side of the world, you knew Rumour.
Yeah, how good's that?
Amazing. But anyway, you've been excellent contestants. Thank you very much for playing. Brilliant.
Thank you.
But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. Now, obviously, only 2 pairs can make it through to the head-to-head, so one team is going to be leaving us at the end of this round. OK, the category for this afternoon's second round is medicine. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, our second round question concerns medical conditions and their common names. OK, in this round, we're about to show you the medical names of some conditions and ailments. Now, we asked 100 people to give us the names by which they are most commonly known. Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you 6 medical names on each pass. All you've got to do is tell us the ailment or condition that that refers to. The more obscure ones, and there's some fairly obscure ones here, will score you fewer points. If you give us an incorrect answer, you will score 100 points. And see how many of the 12 across the 2 passes you can get at home.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. So we are looking for the names by which these medical conditions and ailments are most commonly known. And we have got on our list Daltonism, hypertension, varicella, tinea pedis, myocardial infarction, myopia. I'll read those again. Daltonism, hypertension, varicella, tinea pedis, myocardial infarction, and myopia. Keith, all that time in the law library, the Law Society, reading your legal books, and it turns out it was medical texts you need to be studying after all.
I should be a doctor.
Well, I'll be the judge of that based on your answer.
I recognise one in particular that I think might be low scoring. And I think
good.
What I have as well. Not no. Sounds bad.
You have one of these conditions.
I think so, with what I'm going to say.
OK, well, OK.
It's perfectly harmless.
Right, you are. I'll be the judge of that.
I'm going to go for myopia.
Yes.
And I think that's short-sightedness.
Myopia, short-sightedness. Let's see if that's correct. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that myopia was short-sightedness. Very well done, Keith. 51. Surprisingly high score there, but it could be a lot worse, Keith. 51.
Yes, short-sightedness or nearsightedness. 5 million people in Britain have that. Sorry, 50 million. 5 million.
Ben, yes. We are looking for the more common names for these medical conditions and ailments. Have you had any of these conditions?
I have the bottom one. Hence the glasses.
Oh, I see. Phew.
Not the bottom one. Sorry.
Do you know any of these other conditions?
I think I might. But I'm going to go take a guess on one. Myocardial infarction, I'm going to guess is angina.
Myocardial infarction, angina. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Oh, bad luck. Ben, I'm afraid that is an incorrect answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard.
Yeah, sorry, Ben, I suspect it may not be the only 100 points of the round, though. I won't tell you what a myocardial infarction is, just in case Steve wants to have a go at that question.
OK, thanks, Richard. Now then, Steve. You're the last person to have this board, so you can talk us through all of those conditions and ailments, if you like.
Myocardial, yeah, heart, but I thought possibly that was angina as well. Tinea pedis. Ped, I'm thinking possibly foot. So is that athlete's foot?
OK.
I'm wondering if varicella is varicose veins. I've got no clue whatsoever about daltonism. And I think hypertension might be cramp. So I'm going to go, but I'm not certain. I'm going for hypertension as cramp.
You're going for hypertension, cramp. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said hypertension was cramp. Oh! Bad luck. I'm afraid that is an incorrect answer, which means you scored a maximum of 100 points. Richard.
Hypertension is high blood pressure, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. I heard one of the makeup women was saying earlier you've got a tinier pedis. You should have gone for it, actually, Steve. It is athlete's foot, and it would have scored you 1 point. 1 point. Myocardial infarction is actually the medical name for a heart attack. It was a fairly high score, although 37. Varicella is what your son has currently.
Chickenpox.
Chickenpox,
yes.
Yeah. Would have scored you 6 points. And daltonism is a pointless answer, so very well done at home if you said colour blindness. Daltonism is colour blindness. There it is there in black and yellow.
Thank you very much, Richard. OK, well, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at those scores. On 51 points, Keith.
I'm doing a bit better this time now.
I know, you were worried that 51 was rather a high score. Little did you know. Ben and Steve, well, 200, so at least it's not just one of you way out ahead. It just means the pressure and the contest is on Leslie and Karen. So, yes, everything to play for in the next pass. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 6 more medical conditions or ailments on the board. Here they are. We have epistaxis, rubella, allergic rhinitis, otalgia, halitosis, and lateral epicondylitis. Let me read those again. Epistaxis, rubella, allergic rhinitis, otalgia, halitosis, lateral epicondylitis. Now, remember, we are looking for the names by which these ailments or conditions are better known, more commonly known. And you're trying to find the one, of course, that the fewest of our 100 people knew. Now then, Karen.
I think I've got the one I'm going to say.
OK.
Unless I'm very wrong. But I'm going to say allergic rhinitis is hay fever.
OK, you're going to say allergic rhinitis is hay fever. Do you suffer from hay fever?
Well, I have it all year round.
No, what?
I know, I'm allergic to everything.
You poor thing.
Yeah, it's a bit rubbish.
Oh, it's a lot rubbish. OK, well, allergic rhinitis, let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. You obviously have no red line because you are the high scorers. Very well done, anyway. Right. 36, that scores you. Takes your total up to 136. Richard.
Yes, well done, Karen. I hope that's the first time in your life hay fever has actually been of some use to you.
Yes.
You've got about a 20% chance of having hay fever if you're born in Britain. Very,
20%?
very common, yeah.
Now then, Leslie. So remember, we're looking for the more common names of these medical conditions and ailments. Leslie, this is the real contest here. 136 is Karen and Steve's high score. You are on 100. You have to score 35 or less to be through to the head-to-head. Are there any on there you think you might know?
I'll go for the halitosis. Is it bad breath?
Halitosis, bad breath, you're thinking. OK, well, here is your red line. If halitosis gets you below that red line, you're through to the next round. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said halitosis, bad breath. Right. Oh, bad luck. Leslie, I'm afraid that scores you 66, takes your total up to an unbeatable 166 points. Richard.
Yeah, very, very big score, 66, which tells you a lot about the man who asked the questions of our 100 people, I think.
Yeah. OK, now then, Darren.
Possibly, I couldn't even pronounce the bottom one. What was it?
Lateral epicondylitis.
I'll guess with that one, arthritis.
Arthritis. Keith.
I have no idea.
You heard Keith's little...
I heard lateral and thought, well, that's late, and old people kind of have arthritis.
It's late.
That is my only logic.
Lateral epicondylitis. Is that arthritis? Let's see if it is, and let's see how many people said it. Bad luck. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points, but it couldn't matter less. You are through to the head-to-head, come what may. Richard.
It's actually tennis elbow. Lateral epicondylitis, named after the Greek tennis player Demetrius Epicondylitis. Not really. Not really. Let's take a look at the rest of them. Rubella is German measles. Epistaxis is nosebleed.
Epistaxis is also just round the corner from us. We use them a lot.
Would have scored you 8 points. These are very, very difficult, I think, unless you've had them. And if you had them, you sort of know the names. Analgesia. Do you know Analgesia?
I don't know.
Earache. Earache would have scored you 10 points. So the best answer on the board there was lateral epicondylitis. Very well done if you got that at home. Unlucky if you've got it at home.
Thanks very much, Richard. So at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score, I'm afraid it's Leslie and Ben. Bad luck, bad luck. Yes. Leslie, you knew everyone else's answers.
Yeah.
It was just your own that was a tough one. I mean, halitosis was a correct one, and myocardial infarction, I'm afraid, was is the angina.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very closely related.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to be saying goodbye to you so soon. You've been great contestants. Thanks so much for playing. Thank you.
Thank you.
But for the remaining 2 pairs, things are going to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. So very well done, Stephen, Karen, Darren and Keith. You've made it through to the head-to-head. Now, obviously, only one pair can make it through to today's final and play for the jackpot, which currently stands at £3,000. Right, you're going head-to-head on the best of 3 questions. For each question, each pair needs to give me just one answer, and you are now allowed to confer. All you have to do is come up with an answer that scores less than the other pair, and you will win that question. The pair that gets the best of 3 will be playing for today's jackpot. Let's play Pointless. OK, here is your first question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many countries larger than Australia.
OK, so Australia is 3 million square miles, and there are 5 countries in the world bigger than that. You have to work out what they are and tell us which is the most obscure of those countries. See if you can work out all 5 at home. As always, by country, we mean a member of the UN that is a sovereign state.
Thank you very much, Richard. OK, Steve and Karen, you've played best throughout the show so far, so you get to go first. We are looking for countries larger than Australia.
Okay. We're going to say China.
You're going to say China. OK, Steve and Karen are going with China. Darren and Keith, you can do all your thinking out loud now. China has gone.
It's a pretty good answer.
We think we've got 3, don't we?
Yeah, we've got Russia, obviously. Canada, United States. What's that 5th one?
I don't know.
Well, Brazil might be a big one.
Brazil.
I think it's worth a punt because I think China will be hard to beat. Canada's going to be a popular one.
OK, yeah, sure.
Brazil.
You're going to say Brazil?
Yeah.
OK, so we have China and we have Brazil. Steve and Karen said China. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said China. Well, it's right, unsurprisingly. 72. Ooh. That's quite a high score there. How are you feeling about Brazil now you've submitted it? Are you happy with Brazil?
No.
OK, well, let's see if it's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Brazil. It's right. And down it goes. Very good. 34 for Brazil. Well, we are one question down, and Darren and Keith are ahead, 1-0. Richard?
Yeah, well played, Keith. A brave answer and a right answer, which is a good combination. Canada would have won it as well, though. Let's take a look at all 5. There's Brazil 34, Canada 55, China 72, USA 81, and the largest country of them all gets the most points, Russia, with 92.
Thanks very much, Richard. OK, here is your second question. Darren and Keith, if you win this question, you are through to the final. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many open all hours actors as they could.
Yeah, name any of the actors or actresses who appeared in 10 or more episodes of Open All Hours. There are 5 names on the list.
OK, now then, Darren and Keith, you get to go first this time.
Do you watch it?
I've watched a few.
You're ahead of me.
I'm just trying to think of the other one.
Just go with one you know that is correct.
I'm trying desperately to remember her name, and I can't. So I'm going to go for David Jason.
David Jason. OK, you're going to say David Jason. Steve and Karen, you can do your thinking out loud now.
OK, it was the 2 obvious ones. I'm trying to think if Kathy Staff was in Open All Hours as
I don't think she was.
a regular customer, but I'm not 100% certain.
I think you're onto something with Nurse
And then
Gladys
Nurse Gladys, it's sitting in my brain somewhere that her name is Linda Barron, and I think I'm reasonably certain enough to give it a punt.
Linda Barron. So we have David Jason, we have Linda Barron. Let's take them in the order they've been given. Darren and Keith said David Jason. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. David Jason. 66. Well, it was right.
What is the right answer?
And Steve and Karen have gone for Linda Barron. A bit of a punt, but if it's right, it'll go a long way down. Linda Barron, is it right? And how many people said it? Well done, it is right. And it wins you that question. Down it goes, 16. Very well done, Steve and Karen. So after 2 questions, it is 1-1. Very exciting. Richard?
Yeah, again, brave and correct. Well done, Steve. That's 1-1. Let's take a look at all 5. Barbara Flynn, who is the milkwoman, and Stephanie Cole. Mrs. Featherstone, they both would have scored you 1 point. Linda Barron was 16. David Jason, whatever happened to him, 66. And Ronnie Barker right at the top, 89. Very big score, isn't it? What a popular show that was.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Richard. OK, here is your third question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Shakespearean towns and cities as they could. Richard?
Yeah, we're looking for any town and city which is mentioned in the title of a Shakespearean play. There are 5 plays that have a town or a city in its title. See how many of those 5 you can get at home.
OK, thanks, Richard. Now, Steve and Karen, you go first this time.
Right, long shot. But I know there's a play called Pericles, Prince of Tyre. And I'm hoping that Tyre is a place and not... I'm going to hope that that's the name of a town or a city, so I'm going with Tyre.
You're going with Tyre. Darren and Keith?
Not big on our Shakespeare, if I'm being honest.
Did it once, GCSE English, but since then...
What was that, Macbeth?
Macbeth, so that's not even remotely helpful at all. We're gonna have to guess something. Well, Hamlet is a person, but possibly a town, maybe.
I just cannot think of.
We're just gonna have to go with Hamlet. That's the only thing.
Yeah, we're grasping at straws and going for Hamlet.
Going for Hamlet.
OK, so we have Tyre and we have Hamlet. OK, well, Steve and Karen went with Tyre, Pericles, Prince of Tyre. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, I think it could be an exceptional answer. Tyre. Very well done, it is right. Look at that. Two. Darren and Keith have gone for Hamlet. It's a kind of a place.
It could be.
Is it the name of a place?
Probably not.
Only one way to find out. Let's see if it's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Hamlet. Bad luck. Bad luck. So, after 3 questions, Steve and Karen are through to the final 2-1. Richard.
Yeah, very good answer. Tyre was an ancient city of southern Lebanon. And Pericles, Prince of Tyre, it's not in his first folio, because he only wrote half of it, some scholars believe, but it's in his modern collections. Did you know that?
Pericles is certainly on the sort of periphery, isn't it?
The other half was written by Roy Clark, who later wrote Open All Hours. Let's take a look at all 5. I know some people would have got all of these. Pericles, Prince of Tyre, 2 points. Merry Wives of Windsor, 6 points. Timon of Athens, 10. 2 Gentlemen of Verona, 25. I feel like a Shakespearean bingo caller. And Merchant of Venice, 38.
I'm afraid the losing pair at the end of the head-to-head, it's Darren and Keith. You did brilliant. You came all the way through to the head-to-head, and you with Brazil, I suddenly thought, oh, you see. And then I'm afraid, Jason, well, it was, you got a correct answer. As you said, it was before your time. And I dare say Shakespeare was before your time, too.
Yes, it was.
Thanks so much for playing. Great contestants. Thank you. But for Steve and Karen, it's now time for our pointless final and the chance to win our jackpot of £3,000. Well, congratulations, Steve and Karen. You've seen off all the competition and you have won our coveted pointless trophy. Very, very good. You now have a chance to win our pointless jackpot. And at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £3,000. Thanks to you. Now, the rules are very simple. To win that money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people could think of. Now, we've had 2 pointless answers today, 2 consecutive pointless answers. You only need to find 1 more now, and you will go home with that money. First, though, you have got to choose a category from these 3 options. American fiction, wildlife, soul singers.
Wildlife, soul singers.
Wildlife or soul singers. Let's have a punt on wildlife.
OK, wildlife, please.
You're going to go for wildlife. OK, well, let's find out what that question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many British bats.
Yeah, we're looking for any bat species found in the wild in the UK. That's any resident species, according to the Bat Conservation Trust. As of the start of 2011, there are 17 bat species which are resident in the UK. And we're looking for their English names rather than their Latin names, if you were minded to give us the Latin names.
OK, you now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. All you need to win that £3,000 is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Your 60 seconds start now.
OK.
Do you know any bats?
Fruit bat.
Oh, excellent. Good. One more than me.
There's possibly a short-eared bat.
I'm happy with that.
By the same token, there could be a long-eared bat.
Could be a long-eared one.
There's quite often tufted wildlife, so there could be a tufted bat.
But these are all good. These are all good. We might as well have
I know fruit bat is a bat, at least.
It's likely to not be pointless, though, isn't it?
Well,
because I've heard of that.
Yeah, no, I don't think it'll be pointless.
I've heard of many bats. Tufted bat. We could just sort of think of what bats might be called. A furry bat.
I don't know.
A smooth bat. So, well, hang on. So fruit bat, we know is right. But
should we go long-eared?
We might as well go long-eared. If there's a short-eared, maybe there's a long-eared. So we'll go long-eared.
Should we do the ears and fruit then?
Well, both ears.
We might as well. We don't know any different.
Right.
5 seconds left.
We'll do that.
OK.
Good.
OK, we have our bats.
Yes.
We're going with all the ears and the fruits.
All the ears and fruits.
OK, we were looking for British bats. I now need your 3 answers. What are you going to go for?
Fruit bat.
A fruit bat.
Short-eared bat.
Short-eared bat.
And a long-eared
bat. OK, of those 3, which is your best punt at a pointless answer? A correct pointless answer?
Short-eared.
Let's go short-eared as the best one.
Short-eared is the best one. Which is your least likely to be pointless?
Long-eared, we don't even know if it exists.
Fruit, long-eared, short-eared.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's the order we want them in. OK, let's put them on the board like that. Fruit bat, long-eared bat, short-eared bat. OK, we were looking for British bats. You said this was your least confident answer. You only need one of these answers to be pointless, remember, to win that £3,000. Let's see if your fruit bat is a correct answer, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Fruit bat.
That's the one we thought was right.
Yes. Bad luck. Unfortunately, fruit bat is not a correct answer. It's not a British bat. You only have 2 more bats. £3,000. If one of those wins you the money, what would you spend £3,000 on?
I'd quite like to go on holiday, because we haven't been on holiday for a while.
I know that everyone says they'd go on holiday with it, but we probably would.
Very good indeed. Well, best of luck. Let's hope your next answer, long-eared bat. This has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot. Has to be correct. Has to go all the way down to 0. Is it a correct answer? Is it a British bat? Bad luck. Bad luck.
Too much
long-eared bat. Mind you, a long-eared bat's just going to get in the way, isn't it?
Might get in the way of the sonar. Maybe.
Yeah, long-eared. I mean, long-eared is unlikely, but short-eared is possible, is entirely possible. OK, you only have one more chance to win today's jackpot. There it is, short-eared bat at the bottom of your list. Let's see if that's right, and let's see how many people said it. You said this was the answer you had the most faith in, to be a pointless answer. Let's see if your faith was well placed. Short-eared bat. Bad luck.
Well, there should be one.
Bad luck. Unfortunately, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer, so I'm afraid you don't win today's jackpot of £3,000, which rolls over onto the next show. But you have been fantastic contestants, and you do get, of course, to take home our pointless trophy, so well done.
Thank you.
So, Richard.
Yeah, unlucky, Steve and Karen. You weren't a million miles away when you said long-eared bat. There's a brown long-eared bat, which would have scored you 2 points. But there's a grey long-eared bat, which was a pointless answer and would have just won you £3,000. Let's take a look at all the pointless answers up here. Daubenton's bat, a water bat which takes insects off the surface of the water. The greater horseshoe bat, there's the grey long-eared bat. Leisler's bat, the lesser horseshoe bat. Nathusius's pipistrelle, of course. The Natterer's bat, the noctule, and the soprano pipistrelle. All of those are pointless. Very well done if you've got any of those at home.
Well, very bad luck. Unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you, Steve and Karen, but it has been great having you on the show. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you.
Thank you.
So nobody's won our jackpot today, which means it rolls over onto the next show when we will be playing for £4,000. Join us next time to see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.